The story opens with scattered hats. An old mentor closely observes them. He watches a charismatic illusionist performing. A rival volunteers during the trick. This rival confidently approaches the stage. Later, he sneaks below to investigate. He cautiously navigates the dark understage. The mentor demonstrates a bird illusion. The audience remains completely spellbound. Suddenly, a water tank shatters violently. The mentor calmly holds a bird, but the rival continues his search. Tragically, a man drowns in water. In a courtroom, the mentor testifies. He explains the dangerous illusion mechanics. He firmly defends his profession. The lawyers press for more details. The gallery listens to his defense. He denies any intentional foul play. The rival watches helplessly from prison. A mysterious lawyer visits the facility. Inmates toil in the harsh conditions. The lawyer walks with a purpose. A guard escorts him inside. The guard unlocks the heavy gate. The lawyer waits for his attention. The rival sits in his cell. He looks up at the visitor. The lawyer formally introduces himself. He proposes a deal for secrets. He hands over a crucial diary. The rival stares at the notebook. He carefully opens the worn pages. He begins reading his enemy's thoughts. The diary promises hidden truths. The story shifts to a train. The notebook contains complex codes. The illusionist studies it while traveling. He arrives at a snowy town. He steps into the freezing cold. The town sits in the mountains. He enters a warm hotel lobby. The manager greets him there. He quietly signs the guest register. Later, he treks to a fence. He navigates the foggy forest. He discovers a secluded compound. He looks for a way inside. A strange man suddenly appears. He recognizes the famous visitor immediately. He casually addresses the trespassing magician. The illusionist demands to see Tesla. He waits anxiously for a response. That night, he reads the diary. He takes notes to crack it. His mind flashes to the past. A volunteer prepares for a trick. The rival secures her wrists tightly. She looks anxious as ropes tighten. She is hoisted above the stage. She hangs in front of everyone. A heavy curtain is drawn around. She successfully completes the trick. Backstage, the rival argues about tricks. The mentor warns against foolish risks. The illusionist disagrees with the rival. The mentor tries to keep peace. He explains what real magic requires. The illusionist listens to his advice. He mentions a master Chinese magician, but the rival remains quite dismissive. He claims he can invent better. Later, the illusionist helps his assistant. They discuss the rival's reckless ambition. The mentor cautions about trusting him. They prepare for their own performance. Meanwhile, the master performs his act. He produces a heavy water bowl. Both young men watch in awe. The rival observes him leaving after words. He realizes the frailty is fake. Back home, the illusionist mimics it. His assistant watches his clumsy attempt. He marvels at the total dedication. They share a sweet, tender moment. She playfully teases his stage name. He dreams of becoming truly great. The rival reads this in prison. The memory shifts to another show. A magician forcefully crushes a birdcage. The audience gasps at the violence. A young boy cries in shock. The rival gently showed him it's alive. The boy's mother smiles gratefully, but backstage reveals the grim reality. He walks away with his companion. He distracts the boy with magic. He advises him to protect secrets. He shows her an empty apartment. He announces it's their new home. She laughs at his sudden ambition. She playfully shuts the door. In the present, a machine is shown. It looks massive and very complex. The device appears dangerously advanced. The mentor says a wizard built it. The lawyer asks about its fate. He points to the shattered tank. He examines the intended trick lock. He reveals it was secretly replaced. This fatal swap trapped the illusionist. He grimly reflects on the murder. The memory returns to that tragedy. The rival finishes tying her wrists. She gives a small, nervous nod. She is hoisted above the water. The illusionist watches with growing fear. The mentor anxiously times the escape. The curtain hides her from view. Underwater, she desperately tries to escape. She panics as the knot holds. The crew desperately smashes the glass. He pulls her from the wreckage. He realizes with absolute horror she's gone. In grief, he feels her drowning. Angia sits shattered on the floor. At the funeral, grief turns to rage. He angrily demands answers from Cutter. Borden approaches to offer his condolences. Angia demands to know the knot used. Borden claims he simply doesn't know. This evasion fuels a lifelong vendetta. Meanwhile, Borden starts a new life. He falls deeply in love with Sarah. They struggle daily with meager income. But Borden dreams of grander illusions. He develops a dangerous bullet catch. He believes this feat brings fame. Sarah worries about the immense risk. He smilingly reassures her it is safe. The secret lies in a palmed bullet. He confidently prepares the dangerous weapon. She remains uneasy despite his promises. He insists nothing bad will happen. She reluctantly places trust in him. Their bond strengthens despite looming hardships. He vows to provide for them. She joyfully reveals she is pregnant. This news intensifies his reckless ambition. He starts performing in a pub. The dangerous act draws a crowd. He boldly invites a volunteer shooter. A disguised man confidently steps forward. It is Angia seeking his revenge. He secretly loads a real bullet. Tesla explains the terrifying risks. He advises Angia to stop. The inventor warns of obsession, but Angia remains completely determined. Tesla urges him to reconsider. Angia refuses to yield now. Tesla reluctantly accepts his choice. Back in London, Angia prepares. He looks in the mirror. He talks to his wife. They discuss his bitter rival. His frustration grows visibly deeper. She senses his dangerous obsession. Angia attends Borden's show disguised. He watches the trick unfold. Borden prepares his grand illusion. He seemingly teleports across stage. Angia is left completely baffled. He tries to decipher it. Cutter joins the tense conversation. He insists Borden uses a double. Angia angrily rejects this theory. He believes it is real. Cutter dismisses his complex ideas. He promises to find a look-alike. Meanwhile, Borden enjoys family life. He playfully performs for them. They share a brief happiness. His success seems firmly established. Angia meets Root at a pub. Root is his exact copy, but Root is drunkenly boisterous. Cutter evaluates the new double. Angia tests the stage trapdoor. He safely drops below stage. His wife helps him recover. They share an intimate moment. Cutter oversees the crucial rehearsal. Angia watches Root perform carefully. Root clumsily mimics the act. Angia finishes his grand bow. They discuss the routine's flaws. They must perfect the illusion. Cutter emphasizes absolute strict secrecy. The grand performance finally begins. Angia presents his rivaling trick. He prepares to be transported. He walks into the cabinet. Root instantly appears flawlessly across. Angia hides miserably below stage. Root enjoys the thunderous applause. Angia stews in bitter jealousy. He argues with Cutter later. Cutter defends the successful method. Angia hates missing his glory. His wife tries to soothe him, but his obsession only deepens. He wants to spy on Borden. She is completely shocked by this. He begs her to infiltrate. She reluctantly agrees to go. Meanwhile, Tesla's machine is activated. They watch the terrifying sparks. Lightning violently strikes the hat. Angia watches it closely. The test yields no results. Olivia enters Borden's messy workshop. Borden questions her sudden arrival. She boldly offers to help him. He doubts her true loyalty. She admits Angia sent her. She smiles, proving her defection. He seems thoroughly intrigued now. Cutter warns Angia about Root. Root is demanding more money. Angia becomes furious and desperate. Cutter tries to reason with him. He suggests stopping the dangerous act. Angia stubbornly refuses to quit. Borden finds Root drunkenly rambling. He strikes a sinister deal. Angia performs his usual show. He prepares for the hidden drop. He waits under the stage. But Root is completely missing. Angia realizes he is ruined. He looks up in utter despair. He falls through the opening. The safety pad is gone. Angia is severely injured below. He crawls in agonizing pain. Cutter frantically rushes to help. Borden stands triumphantly on stage. He exposes the pathetic double. Root is left hanging above. Borden publicly mocks Angia's failure. The crowd gasps in shock. Angia recovers at home bitterly. His leg is terribly broken. Olivia tries to comfort him. He demands Borden's ultimate secret. She hands him a stolen diary. He eagerly flips through it. He realizes it is fully encrypted. She begs him to let it go. He completely ignores her plea. She decides to leave him forever. He is left alone with his madness. He obsessively reads the encrypted text. He decides to hunt for the keyword. He spots Borden's close associate. He tracks him carefully through the street. Borden finishes his performance. He bids his engineer farewell. The engineer walks alone in the dark. Angia swiftly follows his target. He confronts the unsuspecting man. He forces him into an alleyway. He plans to extract the word. He captures him for blackmail. Elsewhere, Cutter desperately destroys evidence. He struggles with a heavy box. Borden confronts Angia about his actions. They argue in a gloomy cemetery. Angia justifies his extreme sacrifices. Borden hands Angia the keyword note. The single word reveals the secret. Borden firmly denies causing the tragedy. Angia visits Cutter at the hospital. They discuss the mysterious keyword note. Cutter warns him about dangerous obsessions, but Angia remains stubbornly determined now. He refuses to let it go. Cutter realizes he cannot stop him. Their paths begin to diverge here. Meanwhile, Borden dines with his wife. Sarah asks about his latest trick. He playfully makes a morbid joke. Sarah finds his humor deeply unsettling. His playful mood quickly turns cold. He reveals a recent dark ordeal. Sarah desperately demands to know more. She begs him to stop performing. He insists his secrets are everything. Sarah tries to hide her tears. Angia travels to snowy Colorado Springs. He seeks the reclusive inventor Tesla. He obsessively studies the encoded diary. He remembers Olivia's bitter past accusations. She confronted him about his betrayal. She felt used for his magic, but he only cared about secrets. Her heartbreak meant nothing to him. His ambition completely blinded his love. She realized his true dark nature. He recalls their past stage performances. He continues reading the journal alone. The diary reveals Borden's twisted plans. He searches for the hidden mechanism. A shocking revelation suddenly hits him. He realizes the keyword was bait. The diary was a complete trap. Furious, he storms into Tesla's lab. He angrily confronts the frightened assistant. He demands a working transport machine. The brilliant inventor finally reveals himself. Tesla explains the machine's unpredictable nature. The technology requires more dangerous testing. They prepare to test a cat. The machine activates with terrifying power. Angia watches the electrical spectacle closely. A cat appears to survive unharmed. Angia walks out into the woods. He discovers a pile of hats. An identical duplicate cat hisses angrily. The machine successfully created a clone. Tesla confirms the device actually works, but the consequences remain entirely unknown. Elsewhere, Borden plays with his daughter. He promises her a zoo trip. Sarah watches them with growing suspicion. She feels completely alienated from him. He desperately tries to reassure her, but she senses his emotional inconsistency. He leaves to meet his engineer. They silently exchange a secret message. Borden later visits his mistress Olivia. He fully embraces his double life. Olivia senses something is bothering him. He struggles with his immense guilt. Olivia demands his full, undivided attention. Meanwhile, Angia prepares for his experiment. He explores the snowy hotel grounds. He learns that Tesla has vanished. A massive mysterious box awaits him. He cautiously approaches the completed device. He reads Tesla's final written warning. The letter reveals Edison's violent sabotage. Tesla was forced to flee immediately. He begs Angia to destroy it, but Angia completely ignores the warning. He boldly activates the deadly machine. Powerful electricity immediately engulfs his body. Present-day Borden reads this account. He realizes Angia planned his downfall. The disguised Angia mocks his situation. Borden desperately offers all his secrets. He surrenders everything for his freedom. He begs to see his daughter. He remembers his last terrible fight. Sarah confronted him about his lies. Their innocent daughter heard the argument. Sarah finally understood his dual identity. He forcefully took their crying child. The unbearable truth broke her completely. She begged him for genuine love, but he coldly rejected her plea. This brutal confession sealed her fate. Devastated, she enters the dark workshop. She stares at the heavy ropes. A tragic decision is finally made. She sadly ends her own life. Meanwhile, Cutter discovers a hidden message. The card reveals a secret address. He arrives at an abandoned theater. He steps into the dark ruins. He searches for his old friend. Suddenly, Angia steps from the shadows. Cutter is shocked to see him. Angia reveals his grand new plan. Cutter notices the massive metal machine. An influential booking agent arrives nearby. He demands to see something spectacular. Angia confidently prepares his final trick. The agent watches the stage closely. He expects a truly impossible illusion. The elaborate stage setup intrigues him. Meanwhile, Olivia reports to Angia secretly. She details Borden's incredibly successful shows. Angia listens with growing bitter jealousy. She says the trick is flawless, but she feels conflicted about betraying. She regrets her role as spy. She urges him to see it. She challenges him to discover it. The conversation leaves him deeply unsettled. Ackerman eagerly agrees to book him. The mysterious machine dominates the stage. Angia prepares to enter the device. He addresses his captivated theater audience. Borden watches his rival closely. Angia performs confidently on the stage. He proudly addresses the eager audience. He prepares his greatest trick yet. He invites them to look closely. Borden observes the machine with suspicion. Angia stands ready right below it. He quickly removes his dark jacket. Sparks violently fly from the device. Borden focuses entirely on the stage. Angia suddenly vanishes in a flash. He miraculously appears on the balcony. Borden knows it is a trick. He furiously argues with his team. He vows to uncover the truth. Blind stagehands move a locked box. Borden sits alone in his workshop. The heavy box is transported away. Cutter spots a new performance poster. Borden resolves to sneak backstage tonight. He agrees to the risky plan. Cutter warns Angia to be careful. Borden volunteers from the excited crowd. He quietly slips behind the scenes. He navigates through the dark theater. Angia begins his teleportation act again. Borden searches beneath the wooden stage. He finds a large glass tank. He holds up a dim lantern. He looks closer in utter shock. Angia is drowning inside the water. Borden frantically tries to open it. He desperately attempts to break glass. He loudly yells for some help. Cutter finds Angia completely lifeless inside. Borden is falsely accused of murder. He stands trial in the court. Cutter speaks with an unknown man. He refuses to sell Angier's machine. Lord Caldlow insists on purchasing it. Cutter firmly rejects the wealthy lord. A guard approaches Borden's prison cell. Borden receives a very special visitor. His daughter Jess comes to visit. He smiles warmly at his child. Then Lord Caldlow steps into view. Borden freezes in absolute terrifying horror. Lord Caldlow is actually Robert Angia. Borden cannot believe his own eyes. Angia smirks at his defeated rival. He reveals his ultimate revenge plan. He will adopt Borden's young daughter. Borden begs him to spare her. He desperately screams from his cell. He thrashes wildly against the bars. Angia calmly walks away with her. Cutter arrives at the grand estate. He walks into the spacious room. He sees Lord Caldlow waiting there. Cutter realizes the man is Angia. He is disgusted by the deception. He realizes Borden was framed intentionally. Angia shows absolutely no remorse whatsoever. Cutter stares at him in contempt. Borden prepares for his final moments. He remains calm before his execution. He accepts his tragic, unjust fate. The guards lead him out slowly. He marches down the long corridor. Jess plays peacefully on the lawn. The blind men deliver the machine. Borden approaches the deadly wooden gallows. Cutter looks at the teleportation machine. A guard closely watches the prisoner. Angia inspects the newly delivered box. Cutter secures the equipment away safely. Borden stands bravely on the trapdoor. Cutter leaves the dark storage room. The priest solemnly reads final rites. Cutter nods to someone in passing. He quickly walks out into night. Borden waits for the inevitable drop. The stagehands wait outside the theater. A man named Fallon suddenly arrives. Angia hears a noise behind him. He slowly turns around in confusion. Borden's neck is placed in noose. Angia lifts his lantern to investigate. He finds a bouncy rubber ball. He gasps as realization hits him. He finally understands Borden's great secret. The surviving twin stands before him. A flashback shows a stage assistant. Angia stares at the identical twin. The twin shared one single life. Angia comprehends the massive sacrifice made. A woman screams at the revelation. Borden angrily defends his extreme methods. He claims they were true magicians. He gave up half his life. Angia is shown creating a clone. Borden shoots Angia in the chest. Angia stumbles back from the impact. He remembers the audience's adoring cheers. He collapses, bleeding onto the floor. Borden watches him without any pity. He listens as Angia quietly speaks. Angia confesses his ultimate driving motive. He just wanted them to wonder. He sacrificed himself every single night. His strength slowly fades completely away. He takes his last shuddering breath. The great magician finally dies alone. Borden stands victorious in the warehouse. He walks past the burning tanks. Jess looks up with bright eyes. Borden happily embraces his sweet daughter. Cutter watches their reunion with relief. The warehouse slowly burns to ash. Hundreds of cloned hats lie outside. A dead clone floats in water.